When I was at school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I quite enjoyed logic puzzles. And I had quite a few teachers that told me that if I went and studied mathematics, there was a broad range of things that I could do afterwards. But it was really through going to open days and interviews at university that I got a real buzz for mathematics and understood not just the number of things that you could go and do, but the breadth and depth of mathematics. But even when I was at university, I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. But I decided that if I did statistics, I'd never be short of a job because everybody always wants statisticians and data scientists these days. So I went and did a PhD in statistics, but it was there that I really began to really love statistics. And what I enjoy about statistics is the fact that you get to work with people from a huge range of different disciplines. So you help them not just understand their data, but help them really create stories around their data to help them with decision making. So there's a quote from John Tukey, which is the best thing about statistics is that you get to play in everyone's backyard. And that's absolutely what I feel and what I still feel passionate about today. I went off and did a PhD in statistics, and I was really lucky because whilst I was doing that PhD, I became a full-time lecturer. So, but this did mean that I had a really heavy teaching load whilst doing my PhD. So at the end of that period, I decided that I'd go and concentrate on my research and left a permanent lectureship to go and do a 3 years research fellowship at a completely different institution. So this gave me the chance to broaden my research and also just concentrate on different areas. At the end of those 3 years, that was the time in my life that I really wanted to start a family. And I made the decision that if I was going to do that, I actually needed to leave academia. This was 2003. Maternity leave wasn't quite the same as it is now. So I went and got a job as a medical statistician in the NHS and at the same time took on a tutoring position with the OU. So during the next 8 years, I basically flexed my hours depending how old my children were and how much they needed me around. So I was really lucky from that point of view. I then became a staff tutor with the Open University in 2011 and had various roles as a staff tutor as SST lead, so student support team lead and director of teaching. And I had a brief period of time then in 2018 when I left the OU and then came back in 2019 as a central academic. I was promoted to professor in 2021 and that was on the teaching track, and most of the work that went into my chair's case was based on all of the work that I'd done as a staff tutor at that point. In 2023, I became head of school of maths and statistics, and this was a point in my life when my children were 18 and 20, so I'd left home, so in theory I had a bit more time and a bit more headspace really to concentrate on that leadership role. When I was at university, I didn't really have female role models. We had one female lecturer in the department and I didn't actually have any lectures from her. And I think the vast majority of people, even on my course, were male. But what I've been really lucky during my career is to have sort of informal mentorship from people that I've just met in chance encounters. So one example would be when I was a PhD student, I was helping at a conference. And one of the keynote speakers there was really kind and took me to one side and asked me what my research was on and what my career aspirations were. And then he was brilliant because he stayed in contact with me for many years afterwards, just offering informal mentorship and encouragement and advice. So I think if I've got one role model, it would be him, and he'd be the person that I would most want to emulate in terms of giving that encouragement to others. What makes the Open University different from other places is just that it is incredibly flexible. And that's really liberating, particularly if you've got caring responsibilities and you want to spend that time, primarily focused on your children and not doing something else. So for me, it's absolutely fantastic from that point of view. And I think it really builds on that ethos that we have at the Open University in being open to everybody. And I would say in the School of Maths and Statistics, we have a really supportive environment where people don't feel they're competing with each other, but really want to support each other to do their best that they can do.